I'll pay to be warm. I'll pay the natural gas fees. I'm cold.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 274 of Born to be Wild, a Wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hang out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I'm your host, Hydralisk. It's great to be back on this wonderful Friday evening here in beautiful British Columbia. I'm joined by my fellow host, ElectricSheepCity.
Meowdy.
And Schmoopydady!
Now with Schmellovision.
And introducing our special guest, KVLT. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Awesome.
For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all of the podcast apps. So however you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes.
You.
Content plug, Schmoopydady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us.
Said it.
If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime, finally. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that you can unlock by subscribing to the Patreon where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on this website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Guest interview.
Yeah, so as mentioned in our intro, we have KVLT on the show. So KVLT, welcome. Let's start off with how we always start these. Tell us as much or as little about yourself as you would like.
Hi, I'm KVLT. Sure, a lot of you know me because I'm one of the last people that streams Wild Hearthstone.
Yeah, you are.
But that's I guess that's why I'm here. I usually stream several times a week, almost daily, kind of. Kind of depends on if I feel like streaming or not. But yeah, I'm streaming while studying for the bar exam. So it's kind of my life right now.
Oh, nice.
Have you always been into card games?
I've always been into games, I guess. I grew up playing a lot of games with my brothers and stuff, but I played like some Yu-Gi-Oh, not like, I don't know, like little Yu-Gi-Oh, little Pokemon when I was probably middle school, maybe a little younger than that. But I wouldn't say I've always been into like trading card games. I just kind of felt like getting into one when COVID hit, and I literally just Googled online TCGs, and I found Hearthstone, and I tried it.
Does that mean
how I got here?
You didn't have a history with any other Blizzard game?
No, didn't have history with any other Blizzard game.
Oh, wow.
I just looked up TCGs that I could play online because I was bored during COVID, and that's how I got playing Hearthstone.
Cool. So you found Hearthstone during COVID. What gravitated you towards Wild? Is like, how did you get here in Wild?
I mean, it took a couple years. Like I played, I really liked Hearthstone. Like when I first got into it, I remember. I mean, there wasn't really much else to do. I was working construction and playing. I was playing Demon Hunter because Demon Hunter was really easy to get all the cards for. Because I started playing like right as I guess Demon Hunter class came out, so I unlocked the Demon Hunter class, and I think my first month playing, I got all the way up to Diamond 5. So
Wow, that
I
is
played,
pretty
I played a lot
impressive
of Demon Hunter.
for your first month.
My first month, and then I hit Legend the next month. So I mean, that, to be fair, Demon Hunter was very strong. If I remember, it was probably one of the strongest things.
It was
in the
nerfed like 3 times in 3 weeks or something at the start.
It was, and I wasn't following any of that. I was just playing my Demon Hunter because those are the cards I had, and literally everyone else on ladder was also playing Demon Hunter. So I was just playing Demon Hunter mirrors. That was my first experience with Hearthstone. It was just playing a bunch of Demon Hunter mirrors because. So
it's a unique experience, honestly. Like it
was a unique experience.
We saw that as well, but as players that were already playing the game. But for someone being new to the game, seeing it, that is unique.
And not running away shrieking.
I mean, it was a good way to learn how to play the game because it was kind of like, I don't know, like playing a game of chess or checkers or whatnot. You kind of knew what your opponent was playing. There wasn't that much information to learn because it was pretty much the same class over and over. But yeah, I mean, I eventually learned meta stuff, and I remember my first deck I built was like some kind of like zoo lock. I don't know if that was anywhere relevant at the time, but I was part of that one because I got to play that deck to Legend. And without playing Demon Hunter, so that was pretty good. But cool. I generally played Demon Hunter for my first probably year or so of playing the game because they did feed you those cards. And I guess how I got to playing Wild. When did I start playing Wild? I don't think I started playing Wild until. Probably about 2 years of playing the game, and I wanted to get wins for my I was like close to getting wins for my mage class to get that the golden hero power, like 500 wins.
Yeah.
And I think mage was just unplayable in standard at the time, but then it was when secret mage was good. Mm-hmm. One of the times where secret mage was a playable deck. And I remember doing that and having like the first time playing Wild, it was just so easy to just play Secret Mage. And I remember.
Oh, you probably came in. I wonder if you came in when Schmoopydady promoted it on this very podcast.
I don't know. Like, I just like.
My list was pretty off like what other people were playing, to be honest. I thought it worked.
It was a cheap deck. And I think I just looked up Secret Mage, and it was just like a couple cards I had to throw together.
It comes in and out.
I don't even think I crafted any cards for it. I just
that's the point. Like
played that.
When people are gonna like transition or used to be transitioning from standard to Wild, it was an easy craft. Probably not so much anymore, but definitely.
My first time though actually playing Wild before I like really played the mode to Legend was I played Risky Skipper Rotated, and I wanted to play with Risky Skipper, and I was sad that it left Standard. But what really got me into Wild was when Stormwind rotated, because Stormwind was like probably my favorite expansion. I love that one.
It's a good one.
I love the like the D6 Warlock and Standard, where you got to play like your whole deck in on like turn 6 or something ridiculous like that. That deck was like nerfed so many times. The Demon Seed nerfed so many times, but They
Nice.
they rotated. I think I was in a little bit before they rotated Stormwind, because I do remember playing. What was it? Mine Rogue. Mine Rogue was probably the deck where most people figured out that I played like Wild, because that was like the first month that I was. Got to the top ranks of Wild, because before that I was wherever. But I played enough where I was competing when Mine Rogue was a thing, and that deck was kind of busted. And that was the one with like Terran Gorefiend.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Right. I don't know if you remember that version of it.
I remember it well.
But,
I remember being like, Taryn, yay, you finally have a home.
I like that deck quite a bit. I mean, I know that I would hate playing against it now.
Oh, yeah, I hated it.
I would hate playing against me. I would hate playing against me playing that, because that deck was just, it killed on 4 so often. Sparrow Claw remembers me on Mine Rogue.
I remember playing you when the quest line got reverted, and then it was like I was playing. So at the same time that the Demon Hunter quest line got reverted, all the energy was taken away and focused on the Demon Seed getting reverted. So I was like one of like an ocean of noobs trying Seed Lock, like the new form of Seed Lock. I think that it's the same number of like damage and stages that it is now. I don't think it's been touched since. Like just specifically the quest line, but like the amount that they reverted the quest line, it's like, oh yeah, great, we get to play this. And so I was jamming this, and I remember playing it against you on quest line DH, and you just kept farming me. Like I'd be like, oh, not this guy. Like we played at least 3 times. It's like, not this guy again. And you'd wait till I like was about to get my quest reward, or I got my quest reward in hand, and then you'd glide me and be like, damn it. And then I'd be stuck again, like just stuck spinning my wheels while you mana burned at the perfect times. So I know you don't remember playing that, because I've told this story before. But I remember that, and I have fond memories of that now, because it's like, oh, and this is where, look at him now.
Yeah, that was probably, that deck was that was like my deck at the time, because I think I was one of the first people to. I ran into a guy who was playing Tony and Glavetar in the thing, and his list was awful, but I thought the idea was cool to run Glavetar and have Tony, because you'd actually have a late game against the deck. So I took that guy. That guy I remember was doing, I forget his name.
Was it like Trash Man or something like that?
Yeah, like Trash Man or something like that. He was like doing decently well with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I added him, and then I was like, let me see your list. And then I took that list and just took out all the garbage of it and was playing it, because he was running things like, oh God, he was just running like the worst Outcast cards for some reason. But he wasn't running Mana Burn either. He was running like
Acrobatics. There was stuff in
security.
there. Like, yeah.
He was running security. Well, actually, Acrobatics. That was my. I think I played Acrobatics.
Oh, was that one of the good ones?
It was like the best you could have.
Oh, that was one of the good ones at the time.
Bad card, but it was DH has no good cards, right? Like they still barely have any good cards, but they have less good cards than they had now, because you didn't have Paraglide, you didn't have Sigil of Time. Like Glide was one of the better ways to complete the quest, actually. Even though I think it probably, like you ran it just for disruption, probably. Like it still probably wasn't all that great, but it was like a definite inclusion. Whereas now people like, you might not even want to run 2 anymore. But anyway, yeah, I hit rank 1 with that deck.
Wow.
And that was my. I think that was my first rank 1 was with the DH deck.
Cool. I think it
was.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you were finishing up.
No, you can say what you're gonna say.
No, I was gonna say like that was, if you want to look for a period of time when Neon 31's Discord or just website was just about as boring as it could possibly be, you should go back and check out the Demon Hunter section. for that period of time. So it's because it basically starts with your rank 1 list that you post. And then it's like plus or minus, like whether or not, I think it was like double jump or studies, and like the number and whether you chose one or the other. And like the other 28 cards were exactly the same. And so like it was like, oh, new Demon Hunter deck. I wonder what it is. Questline Demon Hunter. Plus studies, minus studies. Oh, another Demon Hunter
one.
deck. Another one. And it was, I kid you not, it must have been up to or around like 20 Questline Demon Hunter. Sometimes the same exact list. Oh yeah, we hit with this. Oh yeah, we hit with this. Which was just so funny to me because it did really all start with you. And then proceeded to like, well, yep, nope, perfect 30. And I don't always believe in perfect 30s conceptually. Like I think that like it's a lot of times an unattainable goal. But if there was ever a chance of there being a true, honest, perfect 30 in Hearthstone, it does happen sometimes. That is like the premium example that I always go back to.
Wow.
Well, I mean, give me a little bit too much credit. Like, it's not like DH had that many good cards. Like if you look at the options for the deck, if you open the deck list and look at what your choices were for that deck, there really were not that many good choices.
Still did it
there
first.
Still really isn't. Like I did do it first. I think I did get to do it first. That is true. But I think the Tony was really cool. The Tony was cool, and then I got to hit one with Tog when they nerfed Tony, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Because no one believed in that.
Well, we learned why wild. We must move on. What's the next question, Schmoopydady?
All right, fine. What does the current wild meta reward that people don't always notice?
What deck you queue? I think that's pretty important.
Smart
and
answer.
also who you queue into.
We're going to talk a lot about
Like
that later.
that's a. I don't know. It's kind of a loaded question. Like I don't know. What do you exactly mean by what is it reward that people don't always notice? Like, are you hinting at something here, or
Sheep.
Who wrote that question?
trying to find
that
like
was
a
not
secret
me.
sauce?
It was Electric Sheep City.
No, it more just like where do you find the enjoyment or like, you know, success that other people might not.
Maybe
Kind
you
of
feel
depending on how
rewarded.
you read it.
Yeah, differently,
Yeah.
I guess.
It was meant to be a little broad to kind of play into how you wanted
See
to read
where
it.
you'd go.
Okay, I guess I can focus on your like secondary question within that question of like what do I find enjoyment in it? I mean, obviously it's playing Dungar Druid. I don't know if you've seen any of my streams, but it's mostly playing Dungar Druid. And before that, it was playing Questline DH. But I guess I could get into a little like playing the same deck. Like it's kind of a different experience from, I guess what you guys are used to. But I think for a lot of people playing Hearthstone, playing the same deck over and over is kind of their experience, because it's kind of an expensive game to get into if you don't have a full collection. So you really do got to pick one or two decks that you enjoy and get to play. And I think that's kind of, I probably lean to that because I guess that's been my majority of the experience playing Hearthstone. Because like it's standard, like if you don't spend a ton of money on the game, you're kind of ended up locked into a couple decks you play in a meta, right? You don't play every single deck. But I don't know. I think it's very possible to enjoy this game with only playing one deck, just because you can learn a lot of intricacies of the deck that if you don't play a lot of the same deck, you're probably going to miss. And I guess it depends on the deck, right? The decks. Some decks are limited to only a certain amount of possible differences in their game plan.
I fully agree. I think honestly, the less exposure you have to like social media and like HS replay and stuff, I think you do get, like in the beginning, more excitement out of playing a single deck. Like I had that experience when I started playing Hearthstone. I played one of the worst decks of all time for like a year and a half. I played Cthulhu Mage. Like, it was not the greatest deck in the world, but I got Golden Mage with that deck. Like, it was not good, but I did it, darn it. So no, totally. Like, you get attached to something, and you possibly can get more enjoyment, because jumping around from deck to deck too, like trying to adjust your strategy for certain metas and everything, that can be frustrating and everything, but nailing down one deck, I think there's a lot more to be said about that than people really do you think, right?
I think it's rewarding to like win against all the matchups with a single deck, because like even if it's not like, even if it's a bad matchup, being able to like win despite it being a bad matchup, I think is kind of a satisfying aspect of this game. And I like when that's possible, you know. It feels good when you can beat an unfavorable consistently, even if it is unfavorable for more people, you know. And also, you know, there's a certain pride of like trying to be the best person with that deck, which is kind of like, you know, it kind of feels, you play enough of it, you can eventually get to that point, right?
Yeah.
So
actually, that knowing the unfavorable matches and being ready for it kind of leads into our next question a little bit with, at a high level, what separates knowing the meta from actually being ready for it or ready for the matchups you're going to experience?
I guess like knowing the meta is important. It's important to know, I guess, what cards your opponent is generally going to be playing. Like a lot of people, like at a certain point in a meta, you have kind of a list of cards that you know is going to be in a deck within the first, you know, 1 or 2 turns of the game. Like, you know what cards people run, and you know that's why it's a shock when like they hit you out of left field with a card. You're like, why are they running that card? Because it's not in your mental list of cards you expect to come from their deck, right? So I think that is very rewarding in this game, is knowing what your opponents are playing and be able to identify what they're playing, because that way you know what to play around, right? You know your opponent's going to have damage from hand if you see them play a leopard gnome on 1, right? You know that they're going to be trying to burn you down, right? As opposed to like, you know, your opponent is Reno versus Exile Shadow Priest when they play Psychic Conjurer instead of an aggressive minion on turn 1. So I think that's kind of what makes there's a lot of knowledge that you have to have in this game, I think, to be competitive, and a lot of it's memorization, but I think it does get easier in Wild because Wild decks generally stay the same throughout. So that is nice because they don't change so often. So while the pool is greater, I think you're running into the same decks for a long period of time.
Yeah, until some crazy meta breaker comes in. It's
Either leaves them irrelevant or makes them need to get nerfed.
Yeah, decks go in and out, but I mean, like, I've been playing around Okani for like how long now, right? Like, Lotheb's still played in decks, those kind of cards. So,
yep, Lotheb has been played in so many decks, it's crazy. It was even like a top end in Pirate Warrior for a while because you didn't want to have your board cleared. Like, it's seen everything.
Yeah, the very iconic card, right? It's like one of the, like, you think about cards that are just like, make you think of Hearthstone. It's probably one of them, right? That and Batches.
I see you.
A couple others.
What type? Oh, sorry. I was going to go to the next question if we're ready for that.
Okay, that's good. I was just making sure I answered the question properly.
I think you did. I think you did.
I got
We like KVLT because he can yap and we can also yap. This may be a long interview. What type of in-game decision do you think matters more in Wild than in other formats?
Are you talking about in-game, just after you queue the game, or
Yeah, let's say
about,
right.
in
Yeah,
the
let's
deck
say
building
the game has
aspect too?
started and you're now turn 1, turn 2, right? Like what in-game decision do you think matters more in Wild than other formats?
I think it's kind of being aware of. I think tech is very much more prevalent in Wild. So like, I mean, I don't know how big a difference there is in Wild within other formats. It's all, I mean, Hearthstone's all about tempo, right? It's always about, trying to maintain your tempo while removing theirs. And I don't think it's that much different in Wild than other formats. It's just that in Wild, you probably do need to clear more often than other. Like, you have to be aware, like, opponents are much more explosive in Wild. So, you have to make sure that that you're planning your turns, because they are going to have a swing turn at a certain point. But your tools are also more powerful, so you can, I guess, plan accordingly. I don't know if I have a good answer for that question, really.
I think that's a good
I don't
answer.
know if
It's actually not the answer I expected. I expected you to say that, like, because not that you're a combo exclusive player, but you tend to like sort of gravitate towards miracle decks or decks that are a little bit more on the, I'd say, on the combo spectrum. Though, you've played aggro decks on stream before, like Garrote Rogue. You and Copper like heavily have played that. I've seen you play plenty of Hostage Mage, but I thought that you were going to talk about like just sort of like gambling towards your outs more, like more aggressively being like, hey, I've got to go fast in this moment. Because I know, earlier this week we were testing out. We basically did like how to play Malygos, aka Dungar Druid, part 2, because I wasn't happy with the gameplay section and how many times I threw, and you weren't either because you didn't feel like you could really effectively pilot those turns. So we did it against the Innkeeper. But I remember even saying, against the Innkeeper on its most aggressive setting, which is Expert DK, by the way.
Let's go.
You said, well, like if this was a wild aggro deck, we'd have to go in now. Or, well, if this is an wild aggro deck, we'd have to swipe now. I thought that'd be where you were going to go with it, like just like the risk-taking aspect.
well, I don't know if that's a fair example, because you're kind of like playing wild tools against like a stand. Like, that's like queuing a wild deck into a standard deck. It would be the same thing. The standard deck can't really hurt you because you're just so much faster in wild, or you have so much better tools in wild, right? Like, it's like like having a sword fight, but you give your opponent like a balloon animal or something.
We're playing with real swords.
I guess I'm playing psychologist right now, and I'm wondering if maybe perhaps you don't realize it, but you're tuned a little bit more toward the Gamba side of Wild without realizing it. But I don't think it's necessarily here or there. That's just my own little like observation.
I mean, gamble a fair amount in Wild, but like I feel like you gamble in card games in general, and like you gamble on your draws. You play towards what's in your deck as well as what's in your hand. I think that's just good Hearthstone, right? You just have to you be aware of what's in your deck. You're aware of what's in your hand, and you got to try to figure out what the likelihood of you being able to win each turn is, right? Like, I don't know. Whenever I play Hearthstone, I'm always trying to figure out how likely it is that I'm able to kill my opponent the next turn. And you kind of plan. You're like, oh, okay, in 3 turns my opponent should be dead, or I think I can kill them in 3, but my hand's not really looking that way. I'm going to try to play towards killing them in that 3, but more than likely I'm going to have to kill them in 4 turns or something like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Planning like multiple turns ahead. Our buddy Blister Guy talks about that like quite often, about thinking ahead. This next question is interesting because I think we all deal with this differently. Some people don't care. Some people get stressed out. But how do you recover mentally after a loss that you know was avoidable? So let's say you threw by accident and you threw hard. Do you throw your monitor on the floor and stomp around, or like are you just cool? Like, like how are you going into your next game? Like are you good? Like, what's your thought process on like when you know you screwed up?
When you know you screw up, it depends like what the screw up was. Like sometimes, you know, you make a boneheaded mistake of like something you like a mistake you usually don't make. Like that's annoying because you're like, well, I can't count or whatever, right? That's annoying. But it's also, you know, it is what it is. It happens. Like, I feel like that happens quite a bit. Like, especially like you're playing on stream or whatever, it's easier to get distracted, you know. I get distracted sometimes when I'm playing off stream as well, but I don't think that doesn't annoy me all that much. I'm usually, it depends, I guess, like how much I'm caring about the game at the moment. Because there's sometimes I play and I don't really care. I'm just
Watching
playing,
Netflix on the side,
you know. Yeah, exactly. You're just like, it's fine.
I lost, big deal.
It's annoying because you're like, I have to get 2 wins to get to there. It's more annoying, I think, when like if I'm trying to push for a rank. But
Yeah.
usually when I'm trying to push for a rank, I try not to let that get to me. I think what annoys me more is when the loss was unavoidable, because that makes me feel like the game wasn't worth playing if
Oh, interesting.
there was nothing I could have done to win that game. That makes me a lot more annoyed.
It's so
I
funny
do not
'cause
like playing those games.
for me, it's like I can't win this one, and I know it's not my fault.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Hydra. I'm in your camp. I'm totally like, I can shrug off bad, like just like, oh, unavoidable. What it is, and like go to the next. So much easier than like, oh man, I just threw.
Yeah.
The games where I just can't do anything differently to win just make me so annoyed. I hate those games more than anything. Like, it just feels like, because the problem with it is it's nothing you did, so there's nothing to improve upon for the next time. Like, that's what keeps me playing, is knowing I could have done this small thing better in the next game. Because like
That makes
like
sense.
those kind of like the small, like the mistakes where I know I can improve upon, because you know you get better each time. Like I like some, like when I know it's gonna be like a hard APM turn, like I like to try to do those because I like to practice those, because you know at first it was a lot harder for me to try to find those lines, but you know the more you just do it, because you're like, I'm pretty sure I can get this combo here, or I'm pretty sure that I can win here, is pretty satisfying compared to, you know, just waiting a turn and not being able to do it when it matters. So, because like sometimes it does matter to try to, like when you're doing like an APM turn. I guess I am attracted to the APM aspect of it because it's kind of a unique side of Hearthstone that doesn't exist in like a physical card game, or,
I guess, right?
which is kind of a cool part of it being a video game, I think. But I guess that's besides the point.
Cool.
The main overarching point is that I don't care that much if I could have done something better, because that just means, you know, I deserve to lose. But if there was no way I could have won, then that annoys me a lot, because
I love the opposite perspectives on that. That's super cool to see.
How do you avoid burnout when you're playing Wild at a high level?
it definitely happens. Like, there's some month, like if I'm not feeling like about playing Wild, like those are the months where I just try to make, you know, the worst decks imaginable and just play in the dumpster, because there's a certain relief of not really caring about how your games go. and just trying to make a certain idea work. And I think
Right.
that's a good way to try to avoid any burnout of trying to play, because there's definitely metas that are just so unplayable, where there's a certain deck that's completely, like right now egg lock I think is kind of grounds for that.
It's a little annoying.
It really yeah, it's a little annoying, and it definitely makes the game it makes losing feel undeserved. I would say that's the best way to
It's
put
the
it.
solitaire decks, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that do that. Like,
Yeah.
just doesn't feel great.
Yeah. There's a certain, and I think the easiest way to avoid it is just, remind yourself it's a game, and it's also wild. Like, it doesn't matter. Your rank really does not matter in wild.
Hey, it
You
matters
just
in
play
here.
because it's satisfying to.
Matters in here. All right.
It matters for your own, I guess, your own.
Obviously, we're
personal
not getting like
self-satisfaction.
HCT points or anything like that.
Yeah. The satisfying part is, is just for the love of the game, right? The love of competing. But if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. So there's no really need to push it.
So, what's something about competitive wild that you think is harder than people give it credit for? So, wild specifically, right?
I mean, there's a lot of difficult decks in wild. Like, I don't think just because the people are playing it aren't as competitive. There's a lot of the game itself, I think, is very complicated, especially at a higher level. Like, and I think it is something we probably don't give like wild players enough credit for, is that there are some very complicated decks to play. Like, I think Hostage Mage is very, very difficult. It's not an easy deck to win with. I don't think like Dungar Druid's an easy deck to win with. Like, there's
Yeah.
difficult like combo decks that have been hard. Like Pillager Rogue was a hard deck to play.
Never concede against your opponent's combo deck. They could screw up the combo. You just wait.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not every deck is as Monty Priest, right? Like, there are combo decks that are like are difficult to execute in wild. There are like aggro decks, I think, that are sometimes hard too. Like, I think Pirate DH is probably not as easy as people give it credit for. There's you can definitely tell the difference, and you can definitely tell the difference between a weak and strong opponent when you're playing wild. And I think that's something you should give wild credit for, is that I think there is room for skill expression in wild, because there's a reason. I guess you can, a lot of times you can tell the strength of your opponent when you're playing them, which I think is a good thing about the game, is that certain players can force you to have to play differently, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's true.
If we wanted to become one of those players, what advice would you give to competitive wild players who want to improve, but for whom time is a premium?
Stick to one deck. I think that's probably the easiest thing you can do. Or if you don't want to learn, you can play Egglock. That's a pretty good deck. And I don't think it's that hard. So there's kind of two different aspects avenues you can take here. It just depends what you're after. I think there's pretty much anything you want in wild. Like, if you want to just win and not really work that hard in it, you can play Egglock. If you want to win but have a hard time doing it, you can pick one of the other like Highlander Hunter. I think Hostage Mage is pretty good. I mean, there's honestly a lot of the good decks right now are not incredibly easy, except for I think probably Egglock. Egglock is, it's hard to give walk credit for anything. I think I have had opponents in the top 100 that have accidentally clicked Umbra instead of Egg and just lost the game on the spot. Like, it's kind of a bonehead mistake that it just
Maybe they were watching
proves
Netflix.
how little they're paying attention. It proves how little they are paying attention to the game while playing.
Oops.
Just
That's funny. All right, so there's a lot of people that play Hearthstone. There's a few more modes than just Wild, but what do you think the Wild community gets right about the game?
what do they get right about the game?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something the Wild community generally agrees on, and I'm not really sure there is something the Wild community generally agrees on. I feel like
Pack of feral cats.
there's a lot of
This could be
a lot of differing opinions.
a troll question. Yeah, maybe we get nothing right. Maybe a bunch of brain dead Wild players. Like, the answer could be nothing.
and maybe our diversity of opinion is what makes us strong as a format.
Makes us a little wild.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, because some people are wrong.
I mean,
Well, yeah. A lot of people are wrong. Have you met people?
yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of something that do you have an example of what the Wild community generally agrees on? That's what I want for sure before I answer whether right or wrong.
I have something, and I think KVLT does play into this.
Okay.
I think we do Twitch chat right. Like, if you try to be a Wild player in a standard Twitch chat, like, you're the weirdo. Like, you're the,
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's like, well, what is this guy do? What is this clown doing? Like, why is he acting this way? But meanwhile, if you don't do that in a Wild Twitch chat, like, you're missing an opportunity. Yeah, you're the odd person out, right? Just like the snarky sarcasm and the fake toxicity and just like, there's many aspects to it. I feel like we get that right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's like I don't know if there's a huge difference between, like, if you're comparing a Wild community versus the standard community. I don't really know. Is that what you're trying to compare here? Is that what you're...
It sounds like it. This wasn't my question, but, like, I almost want to answer the question myself, but it's not even the question for me.
Well, let me hear your thoughts. I'm kind of...
Okay.
I don't know if I have a good answer for this.
For me...
Because they're all just talking points, really, right?
Like, what do you think the Wild community gets right? So, sometimes in standard, and so not every Wild person can agree on this, I will say, but in standard, sometimes there's a good card, okay? And everybody freaks out. Like, oh, what are we gonna do? Oh, it's like 2 days into the new expansion release, a new meta, and everyone's absolutely losing it. Nerf it. Right. And there's some influencers that jump on that instantly, not gonna lie. They also might dabble in Wild a little bit, but I think most Wild players are used to our stuff not getting touched that often, and knowing that there's a way to counter it. Chill. You can chill, and you can brew, you can cook, and something will come up. It will happen. But yeah, like day 1, day 2 of like a new set being released, yeah, there's going to be something that's kind of broken, and you can calm down because people will figure it out. Like, you don't need to cry Blizzard right away. I think most Wild players don't want to cry Blizzard right away.
To yes and that, so many times it's like, oh man, I really want to play this in Wild before whatever it is gets nerfed for standard sends. Like, I just want to play the good cards, while they're good.
I don't know. Have you read Reddit?
Yeah, I would agree with the canons of Wild. I do like how Wild is nerfed less. Like I wish, it's it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, it's nice that things don't get nerfed so we can fully explore things and figure out meta and stuff. But then, then sometimes the Smiley Priest is allowed to exist for 8 months. There's a I think there's a give and pull for that.
8 months is more than 8 seconds. Okay, like I get it.
That's
like
true.
At that point, I'm okay with it.
But I think generally though it's good that things are nerfed less often. Like because even so, like I was pretty impressed with how I think Nasmani Priest has really taken a step back from being in the meta. Like there's not nearly as much of it. Doesn't really feel like that big of a problem now that the meta is kind of the meta is adjusted by people getting bored of playing the deck, which is kind of funny. Which is that kind of how it goes. But okay, I'll put that as my answer though, is that we appreciate a slower cadence of nerfs, and I think I do like that aspect because I think there's so many more things to explore in Wild that having a longer time to figure out a meta is nice because things do adjust, however slowly.
All right. My question is, why are you Lucky Trash, and how did this start?
Oh, OTZ called me Lucky Trash. And that's kind of basically how it started.
It's become
OTZ deemed me to be Lucky Trash.
It's become a wild ism. Like it's spread beyond just OTZ interacting with you, and also spread to. Well, I mean, in part, I spread it. But I love going into a standard stream, talking about Twitch chat again. I love going into a standard stream and watching a standard player, high roll out of their mind and just typing Lucky Trash and then realizing, oh, I'm not in my backyard, and then having to clarify, this is a term of endearment, I swear. But yeah, if you haven't been to the KVLT stream, he's got the Lucky Trash emotes. He's got an animated one of dancing trash cans. That's fun. And a little happy, 4-leaf clover trash can. It's just, but it's one of his bot commands. If you say lucky, Lucky Trash, man. We can't have you on and not to ask you about Lucky Trash.
Yeah, OTZ determined that was the trash chalk that they'd be using when I high rolled them at some point. I think I'm not sure, but that's kind of how I kind of leaned into it because I thought it was funny.
All right. Well, our final question in the interview portion. Speaking of Lucky Trash, does the LT stand for Lucky Trash in your username? Please tell us how you decided on your username originally, KVLT.
I had it for a while. I think at some point in high school or whatever, I just had it because it was a metal meme spelling cult, KVLT, just because they had to be edgy and not use any of the actual letters of how to spell it. So
gotcha.
And I kind of like the way I like the way the word looked. A certain aesthetic appeal to it, and I just put it as my username when I made my Hearthstone account. And the problem was I really couldn't change to that point because people kind of knew me as that in game. So when I went to go streaming, it kind of made sense for me to keep it. So, and now it's kind of
it's a cult classic.
My forever username now. Yeah, cult classic. Yeah.
Right on. Well,
it's nothing special. It just kind of how it happens, right?
Sometimes it happens in a really boring way, and sometimes it happens in a really exciting way. There's differences in all the usernames. So no, it's super cool.
You could have ended up as Schmoopydady. You high rolled.
Yeah, you high
yeah,
roll.
I guess it's.
And Schmoopydady doesn't even spell his name the same on all formats. Like, it's different everywhere you look. Like, good luck Googling
we're
this,
interviewing somebody who dunks on me for this, actually.
Like, get it right, bud. Well, it's been great to get to know you a little bit better, KVLT. And now that we've got to know you a little bit better, how was your week?
I've had a good week. I've been mostly just stuck studying, but studying's been going well, so I'm happy about that. I got like a little bit over a month left of studying, so I'm getting there. I'm hanging there. Gonna pass this exam and be done with it.
You can do it.
I can be. Thank you. But it's about, and I've been streaming Hearthstone most days this week. I'm waiting for a patch. I think everyone's kind of waiting for a patch for the game. But other than that, I've been we have that big snowstorm coming. So gonna see how that hits this weekend, and I got enough food so I don't actually have to leave my house. So we're chilling.
Mind the pun. Schmoopydady, this is when you asked me how my week is going to be. Yeah, or was. Right.
Why? I guess somebody has to. All right. Hydra, how was your week?
You're such a dink. Say it nicely.
Hydra, how was your week?
Oh, thank you for asking. That was like, I'm so glad you're interested. So, I don't know, man. I've been working a lot and not doing a whole lot outside of that, other than my Hearthstone dailies and my love of Red Dead Online that has come back, and playing that, even though it's a garbage online game because of all the hackers and stuff. But I do dailies on that. The only problem with that is dailies, like if you do them every single day, you get a multiplier for the next day. So your next day's dailies are worth more. So it's like even more important than in Hearthstone to do your dailies, because like, let's say you have like a quest that's worth this much gold, like say 100 gold, it's worth 125 tomorrow if you did the previous one, right? So like they really hook you in. And so like even after the podcast, that's like the first thing I'm probably doing, because it's like it ends earlier. So for Hearthstone, I live on the West Coast, right? So midnight is Blizzard time, midnight. But for some reason, Rockstar is like somewhere in the middle. Like their midnight is like 10 p.m. for me. So like I always have to complete my quest by 10 p.m. So I gotta like, yeah. So like I gotta do something stupid, like kill someone with a certain weapon and then just leave. Or like do something, right? Like, I don't know. Sometimes the quests are really dumb. Like it's like take a selfie, because they got like the old school camera, like that you set up on a tripod and you can like take a selfie. And I love it when I get something like that. It's amazing. No, like the last week, I won't get like too much into it, but Mini Hydra's got a surgery on Monday, and there's been a lot of appointments. The last couple of months have been appointment ridden. Our last like week or two, there's been lots of in-person phone call appointments and stuff, and his surgery's on Monday. So there's some anxiety like about all that stuff. So haven't really been going hard on the ladder. But I don't know, maybe next month. It's not really a priority for me at this exact time. Maybe February will be the time for me. Other than that, I finished Stephen King's Just After Sunset. So that's the short story collection I was talking about last week. I finished that, which I'm super stoked on. It was really, really good. There's one story in there that was absolutely out of its mind crazy. So this book was written like in 2010-ish, but there was one short story from 1977 about, it's called The Cat from Hell. And it really, really is. If you want to know about the cat from hell, you probably don't. It's actually really the cat from hell. It's worse than you think. So maybe don't read it. Just saying. I started telling my wife about it and she made me stop. I wasn't allowed to continue telling her about the short story. But basically, that's been my week. I have no idea what we're doing this weekend. We snowboarded as much as possible before my son's surgery, and we're probably not going to go again. We got as much out of our season's passes as possible. I'm still gonna go, but he can't because he's having surgery. But I got to make mine worth it. So mine cost more than his did for our season's pass at our local mountain. So I still got to go a couple more times to make it worth it. But yeah, that's basically been my week. A lot of playing 2 video games, Hearthstone and Red Dead Redemption 2 online. ElectricSheepCity. How's your week been?
My week was all right. So the past weekend, I hit Legend in Wild on EU. And also an NA, both with Birdlock, because it was cheap and I could play it on EU. And then I could just continue to play it here too. And then I continued to like tank my rank because the meta turned a little bit more against it, at least, you know, where I was. So I get to play some more. That's just, you know, that's the upside. It means I get to play more. Hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray! So day before yesterday, the Oscar like nomination things came out, and I had already seen like 3 of the Best Picture nominees, and so it's like, okay, I'm pretty close. Like I'm gonna see how many I can watch before then, since, you know, the list is much longer than I thought it was gonna be. But like I've also already seen 3. So like I've already seen Frankenstein and Begonia and Sinners, and all of those were great. So last night, it was not my night for bedtime.
Oh.
So I watched one battle after another, and that's like a 3-hour movie. And it's good. It's got a lot going on, but it's good.
Could you say it's got one battle after another going on?
Yeah, honestly, like there were a number of times like where it's like, okay, this is another battle that's happening here, and it's not like an actual battle, but it says, oh, and this is another battle here. Like it's almost like each scene itself is just one battle after another, which was kind of a fun thing to kind of see part of the way through it and all that, but really good. Schmoopydady, how has your week been, my friend?
Good. Holy crap, snow. It's like, I know it's an event for like next week and doesn't fit, but like it's coming. And it's funny, as teachers, we're sitting around, you know, the lunch table and we're guessing what our districts are going to do. I think current even money is for full detail, we're going to get like 16 inches of snow Sunday, and then maybe a couple on top of that Monday, which is more than 2. We will be, in my opinion, like slam dunk. Everybody agrees Monday's probably off. But what happens Tuesday? Highway crews and ground staff are only going to work so many hours on a particular job. And so even money right now is looking at 1 day and a 2-hour delay on Tuesday. Not outside the realm of possibility to get 2 days out of this. We could get Monday and Tuesday. So I'm very excited for that prospect because, like, you know, I'm an adult that looks forward to snow days. I never got to grow up. It's great.
Perfect.
So that's like I'm like plotting like how many times I have to plow my driveway so that I don't get stuck. Because that'll be a gargantuan hurdle to overcome otherwise. I was telling these guys before the show that I nutmegged a kid in soccer like 3 times.
What is that?
They said, stop. What is a nutmeg? Okay, so like when you are dribbling a soccer ball with your feet and you slip a ball between your opponent's legs and then get it on the other end is a nutmeg. So it's considered to be like a skill thing.
Okay.
Right, and this guy was basing out too much on me, and I was just tapping it through, because it's indoor, and when you're in,
that is rude to do to someone, I guess. Like, it's like, ha, I'm better than you.
Well, some people, like, if you talk to some kids, like, nutmegs matter more than goals. And those are the kids that I want to slap because I'm just like, you play to win the game. You don't play to just dunk on your opponent. Right. And I wasn't dunking on this kid. I was, like, legitimately like, all right, he's running too fast. This is a way I can get the ball around him. And I continue to play. And then I just would play like normal. Like, wouldn't even mention it, which maybe that made it worse. But I got him. I got him good, like 3 times, which is a high I'm still writing. Jujutsu Kaisen episode. I can't discuss it with spoilers, obviously, because I'm not a monster. But I will say this was really good this week. I don't even plan on like doing like a weekly like update on like, you know, stuff I'm watching. It's just not typically like something that dominates my week that much, even though it really does. Like I end streaming and it's like I'm watching something. But it was good this week. It was very action packed while also having like a nice like emotional cathartic like resolution of kinds, which was really cool. And I one of the reasons why I like the show is like there's a lot going on, not just like a beat 'em up. Hearthstone related things. I found out today. I was sitting down. I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh crap! I have not finished my Asia climb, and I have not finished my EU climb. I haven't even started my EU climb. So I'm sitting on. It's 11x on Asia because I'm in platinum, and now I'm starting to get wild queued, and I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna have enough time to finish my climb? Like, I might not find enough opponents quickly enough, and then you start seeing repeat opponents, and if they're bad matchups for whatever I'm playing at that point in time, I'm kind of hosed. So I'm gonna make a concerted effort over the weekend to try and get both close to legend, so that on stream I can try to go for like a double legend, like double feature of like, all right, watch me hit legend. The funny thing was though, I was banking on, I was like, all right, you know what, I'm 10x on EU. That's going to be great because, like, at least my queue times will be short. Yeah, I'll go 1 star at a time, but, like, a lot of 10Xers trying to climb this time of the month, like, they're going to be less competitive than the ones that I'm used to trying to travel through D5 to Legend through. So, like, you know, I got this in the bag. I go check. I also have 11X on EU. Now, I will also be dealing with the wild queue problem on that account. So earlier today, when KVLT asked me, he goes, "Hey, Schmoopy, are you like regularly going to grind on all 3 servers?" And I'm like, if I have time to, like, I might not. Like this, the nice thing about this expansion is it's been so weird and like taken time to develop and like required refinement and like popped up some new stuff. And the mini set I think does a similar thing with like stuff like Imbue Rogue. Imbue Rogue being my favorite deck of 2026 was not on my bingo card, but apparently it is, and that's a thing that I have to deal with now in my day-to-day life. I don't know. Awesome. And the crazy thing is like you trigger it, and then it lets you rewind your choice if you don't like it. Like, it's not like you're just getting like stuff loaded up in your hand. Sometimes you do, even after 2 rerolls, but usually you get something you like. Like if you look at if you look at like if it's just like, you know, do I something that's 0 that I can play now? No. It's a good turn 5 play. Like, it's like, you get something. Why grind on all 3 servers instead of just one? Because I get bored of one, because on the one server that I mostly play on stream, I treat that worse than my liver. And so, with all the viewer decks, and so when I feel like competitive schmoopy, I gotta try and hit. I want to try and hit legend with going free to play on the other 2. Yes, Hydra.
I would just say, because you said earlier, like, is it something that you will feel obligated to do, right? And you said, depending on your time. That's a really good answer. I think that's a like a great answer. It took me years to accept that because I got addicted, right? The problem was when they introduced the star bonus system. It wasn't an issue until then. when they give you a star bonus, that's the problem, right? So you have your 11x. It's really nice to keep. Maybe you don't get 11x next time. Maybe you get 10. Meh. Okay. Okay.
I always think,
and I've never once had an 11x on any server, but on EU and Asia, I've had 10x on both, and my issue was maintaining that 10x, and then it would dip down to 9, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. That like D10 to D5 is going to be a little more annoying. You still get, the win streaks. It's okay. And you get back to the 10 and you're like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. For me, it did become a problem. But that's me. Addictive personality, maybe.
It's so funny because you're like, well, you'd want to keep the 11x. Not necessarily. Like, if it means that I have to if it means that when I'm streaming Hearthstone, I have to climb EU today, or else I'm not going to have time to do it later in the month. So, like, I have to do it now. Versus, like, well, I could play 10x. Maybe my opponents are easier. Maybe the climb is faster because I find a hard counter. Maybe it's faster because I find matches sooner. Like, I think the argument, honestly, to get 11x versus 10x in Wild, it's a lot more of an argument than it used to be. It used to be like, wow, you're whacking off a whole lot of your climb. But we had more populated servers then. Since the Chinese left us, and Blizzard did the big bot smash, like queue times are they're going up because we don't have as many people coming in and playing Wild. That's just the reality of things. So I don't know. I think it's easier for me to say no than for you to say no. I think solely on the basis of I have some external factors that are motivating me. Like, do I really want to stream 11x or 10x on EU or Asia? You know what I mean? Like that's part of it too, I think. That's part of it too, I think. But I appreciate the kind words. It's just, I find your feat much more impressive because for you it was all self-motivated. And then it's a hard thing to let go once you get that motivation, and like that's how you get the zing, right? So, shall we news it? Because we got some news.
We should news it.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
All right, so we got patch 34.4.1. So this is bug fixes and game improvements. Most of this patch was a bunch of other stuff. This is mostly constructed Hearthstone that we're going to highlight here. I'll go over these quickly, and then if y'all want to jump in on anything that was important to you on it. I know that Sheep, you had something to say about Battle at the End of Time. But basically, our first one is Time Thief Reform. The battle cry should now trigger reliably after all prerequisites are met. So this wasn't happening? Meh? Like, wasn't triggering properly? No? Anyone experience this?
No, because no one plays this card. Sheep, you're muted, by the way, I think.
I wasn't saying anything. I was literally just mouthing no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Rip to everyone.
I mean, I
because
was
it's a cool
muted, but I
card.
wasn't saying anything.
All right. Husk, Eternal Reaper, heroes with eternal life and 0 corpses can once again be destroyed by effects. This, I didn't realize was a thing. Anybody? No.
Infinite life. I never.
I
No
didn't-
one plays
No.
Husk.
I didn't know it was a thing, and I actually I played me some Husk Eternal Reaper too, but
Nonchalant
I
Noob
just
asks,
never queued it.
what's eternal life? Nobody knows.
It's a 4-mana 5/3. I don't even think it's undead, but it might be undead. I think it's undead. Undead adjacent. Meaning that says when your hero dies, it's a battle cry. When your hero dies, spend up to 20 corpses to revive your hero with that much life.
Oh, well, somebody knew. Okay, prove me wrong.
Yeah, so the eternal life is the death rattle that Husk Eternal Reaver gives you.
Me
Yeah.
and
It's
two
really
other people
bad
played
'cause it puts
DK.
you at like
Sorry,
it puts
Kate.
you at like 9 HP. It puts you at like 9 HP, and that's the max HP you can get for the rest of the game. So you're just kind of dead.
Oh, it's kind of like
It's
a
20,
Jiraxis
okay.
thing.
It's 20 sometimes, but like up to 20,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
it's not that much.
Well, goes to show how much, I don't know, wild players are playing this, I guess. All right. So, Battle at the End of Time now works with Plot Twist and Gaslight Keeper. Sheep, do you want to tell us about this one?
Or
Or
actually,
KVLT?
KVLT.
You want to jump in there?
Sure. I mean, they fixed half of it. It works with Plot Twist, but they kind of forgot about Gaslight Gatekeeper. It just doesn't work. They said they fixed it, and it's just not fixed.
We've been gaslit once again.
Wait, so this wasn't a hot fix, it was a not fix? Boom, boom.
I hate it.
Heyo.
I hate it. Here.
So you expect it from me.
All right. I don't know about the next three. We got the Fins Beyond Time. That was fix a disconnect that would occur when combined with effects that trigger the end of turn twice. So, for example, Chrono Lord Dios and Drakari Enchanter. Me? Anyone have this?
Meh.
No. Meh. And then we got Emergency Maneuvers. No longer summons 0 health copies. I mean, that's a cool
that scammed
thing.
me a couple times.
Like, that's kind of BS when that happens, right? Like, high five to whoever fixed this. I mean, low five to whoever made it happen in the first place. But this one's a win.
I mean, I don't think bugs are intentional. But I'm definitely agreed to the high five to the one who fixed it.
Then we got Morchi now works with Begone Doom Speaker.
I barely know what both those cards do.
Yeah, because you're a wild
I
player.
barely know what both those cards do. So,
Yep.
neat.
Same.
Neat
Oh,
indeed.
Can I do a quick PSA, by the way? Because
Yeah.
the battle at the end of time, this plot twist, like there is a really hot version of the deck going around where you take the battle at the end of time and you put it in your Egg Warlock instead of Boars.
Oh,
so
God.
now it's a little bit easier to build around, and people say it has no counterplay now. Hostage Mage just no longer beats the deck because you can now kill off your TikTok and you blow up the hostage mage's hand and the game ends. Again, quick little PSA. This is not correct information. If you look at HS Guru right now, what's really funny is I don't like necessarily doing deck lists, but I like comparing, okay, what versions or deck appear to be performing better than others? And you don't always have the right sample sizes to make that reasonable, but here's the funny thing. Like, 3,000 people have already played Quest Egg Warlock in, like, Diamond through Legend. So, like, we've actually had some decent sample sizes. It looks like adding the quest, the battle at the end of time, to your Egglock knocks off about 5 to 8% of your win rate.
Yowza.
Across the board. So like I figured like what if so we start low down in the MMR, right? We do diamond to legend. It's like, all right, that doesn't look good. And then you start working your way up because like what if there's some specific deck that somebody plays at like top 1K, like stuff like Hostage Mage that is you're more likely to see, maybe that improves its chances. Up at the top, it's still worse by like 5%. So like down at the bottom, it was like close to 10. Up at the top, it was like 5. So
Wow.
No, it's not an unbeatable, uncounterable deck. It looks like they've actually done you a favor running the quest. So quick little PSA there, since that's not really part of the discussion topic tonight.
It's just worse at Warlock.
Well, speaking of discussion topic, do you guys want to jump into cheating or counter queuing?
I actually want to start with this for KVLT, and I want to do so by starting with a dramatic reading, if I would. Let me just find the proper passage.
I'm ready for it.
Because it's a classic. It's already a classic. It's one of the best ever, and the situation behind it is hysterical. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. Oh my God! Shut up, people! Shut up! Find me the.
You smell like a leper gnome.
Where is it? Here we go. Nope. Almost. Here we go. Colt, this is for you. Hi, I have come home and now am planning to play some Hearthstone for a bit. So you should switch to the EU server. Just letting you know. I need to make some chamomile tea, so you have time to leave NA. I would appreciate it if you left after this game. Do you want to, you don't have to name names, but if you want to give any context for this, exactly like why this was so funny to everybody and why this is now a classic pasta.
So yeah, that was written by Minerica, who's a player that plays top legend on both EU and NA, and they are infamous for their counter queuing. All of the Russian wild streamers and me, and also they snipe people from their stream. They snipe their opponents that the like streamers play against, which is kind of funnier. Like QB loses his mind when he plays against a Russian streamer, and then he gets counter queued by Benerica the next game. So,
like, just to, do you want to just describe 1 second, like, just to clarify, like, what is counter queuing? Like, what is the practice of what they're doing, and then like where we can put this more into context.
Oh, okay. I can elaborate on that. Counter queuing is essentially like in Hearthstone, different decks have different matchups into other decks, right? And counter queuing is basically queuing the deck that has a very favorable matchup into a deck you know your opponent is playing. And at the top MMR, especially in Wild where there's not as many people queuing at a time, you can very easily time your queue so that you queue into someone whose deck is very weak into the deck that you chose. And that's happens quite a bit in Wild. I'm not sure how much it happens in Standard, but it happens quite a bit in Wild. And especially at the top, because no one really wants to lose. So what people do is, in order to like improve their overall win rate, if they know someone else is currently queuing, they queue a deck that is very good into that person. So every time they roll that person, they basically get a free win.
And now, just to clarify for the audience, like, so am I counter queuing at, let's say, 9x if I see a bunch of imbue mages and then I queue up like something like Pirate Rogue or something like that, right? Something fast to get in their face really fast. Is that the same as what they're doing? You say no because?
I mean, it's kind of similar. It's like it's queuing against the meta, right? You're queuing something that's counter meta, right? It's a counter meta option to what you're seeing. The main difference though is that if you're playing at a lower MMR, you'll queue into a wider variety of opponents because there's more people who play at that rank bracket. Whereas since like if you're playing at a higher MMR, queues typically, I'd say my queues typically range from maybe 2 to 5 minutes. It's not really been terrible lately. But since the queues are on the longer side, if you choose to queue and you have a similar MMR as someone else, if you choose to queue at the same time as that person, you can very easily queue into them on purpose.
Yeah. It's like playing rock, paper, scissors, what the opponent is picking, right?
Basically you know your opponent's picking paper, so you pick scissors, you know.
It's like how Lenny would just magically appears in our theory crafting streams. Like she's counter queuing us.
Wow.
Now here's the question.
How did you see that coming?
If you know, like, and you could take this to like a professional sports level if you want, like if you know that your opponent's playing like a certain defense game, right? And you want to attack that specifically, how wrong is counter queuing? Is it wrong? I know my answer. I think it's kind of dirty, but also at the same time, it is somewhat strategic. I guess. What's your feelings on that?
I mean, it's annoying. I mean, it wouldn't be annoying if it wasn't an effective strategy. Like it's a pretty good strategy. Like getting a free, like when, like especially at the top, like if you're queuing in top 25, you generally queue into the same. If someone else in your MMR bracket is queuing, you basically get them every second or third match. And that's pretty good. If you queue into the same person every second or third match and you know they're going to continue to be playing that same deck and you choose a deck that beats it, that means you're basically guaranteed a free win like every 2 or 3 games. Plus, you can also win the other games too, right? So that basically improves your win rate by a significant margin. So it's a very effective strategy at that level. It is annoying as hell if you're the victim of it because that basically means every 2 or 3 games you're guaranteed an instant loss, which is kind of honestly a problem with how the ranking system works and how the MMR works because and also I guess it could be a larger meta issue too where that is effective strategy because there are decks that just completely like dominate other decks in this meta.
I want to expand on that because that was one of the things I definitely want to tie to this is that this isn't. It feels like this meta in particular is a lot. It's a lot easier. Well, in this case, it's the snipe counter Q combo. That's really what's dirty. Is it's like, wow, I know exactly when this guy's queuing a game. I'm going to try and queue the opposite of what he's playing right now. But this meta also kind of like lends itself to that, whereas in past metas, you can't always be this effective.
If you're waiting for them to queue and you're queuing into them and you're legit sniping them, that is, to me, that's like unacceptable. That's like the low beyond.
Oh, no, that's what these guys do. Yeah.
I'm cool with like thinking like, oh well, Corb's playing this deck, so I am gonna play the counter because he's playing tonight. Like I'm cool with that, but I would never like sit there and watch his stream and wait for him to queue, right? Like that's awful.
I mean, it's kind of a larger issue, I guess, with the meta too, because there are decks that just auto win in certain matchups, which is kind of, I guess, an issue with the game balance in a way. But it's kind of unavoidable and wild, I guess. If you want more decks to be playable, then it's kind of always going to happen. The issue with it is that the wild community is small enough where It's a frustrating to play sometimes if you just, because it's like every couple matches you do it. You queue into that same person, right? So it kind of becomes like I don't really think it's like that unethical to counter queue, because like no one wants to lose, and you might end up in a situation where no one's actually counter queuing, you just happen to queue those decks, but every 2 or 3 matches you end up taking an insta loss and they get an insta win, right? So and then the question is, do you switch decks to, because you're running that person, you can switch decks to beat them, and then it's you kind of get into like, I guess, a counter queue battle, which I guess is it's kind of a problem with the rank system in general, because I think if it really rewards I guess countering certain opponents, right? It's very rewarding to be able to do that. So it's hard to really blame people for switching. I guess it's just, I find it more annoying when I'm streaming, because it tilts me to no end when like someone's in my chat and then I just see them pop up with the deck that just completely beats mine. It's like, come on, you don't get the chat in my chat and also beat me on stream with a free, like, you get free wins on stream. Like, I don't think that's fair. So I ban people that do that to me, because I don't want to see them in my chat if they're gonna queue into me with a deck that instantly beats mine. So I think that's kind of more of a problem with streaming than anything else, though, and it's not going to really affect most people.
Well, let's move into not just, you could consider counter queuing cheating, but we have a bigger cheating topic. So there was a post on Reddit from, and excuse me if I pronounce your name incorrectly, Maken Kokotori has made a post. Rampant cheating in China's wild mode. Why isn't Blizzard doing anything? So it's a short post. I'll give it a read. On the Chinese servers, cheating in wild mode has gotten completely out of control, and Blizzard seems to be doing nothing about it. These cheaters use mouse macros combined with speed gear to accelerate animations and perform OTK combos. Their OTK setup usually activates by turn 4, and their opponents are forced to watch animations that can last over 10 minutes per turn. At the beginning of this month, one of these cheaters reached rank 1 legend before 2 a.m. And among the 5 players who reached rank 1 on the server earlier this month, 4 out of 5 were confirmed cheaters. Last month, half of the top 6 players on the leaderboard were cheaters as well. Also, this is from someone on Reddit, so this could or could not be true, just saying, on the numbers. Reporting them on Chinese servers is basically useless. A cheater only gets a 3-day suspension after receiving a large number of reports. Most of them have tons of alternate accounts, so even if one is temporarily frozen, they switch to another account and keep playing. As a result, the current leaderboard is filled with these cheaters and their Smurf accounts. The situation has been going on for several months now, yet Blizzard has taken no visible action at all. Why is Blizzard completely ignoring? Schmoopydady, I would love to hear your thoughts on this and why this might be isolated to the Chinese servers, and if that is true, if it's isolated to Chinese servers.
Yeah, it's super weird. If I'm trying to find the deck now, it's what I've been like sort of clicking around trying to do was, the deck uses one of the Warcraft Rumble cards, the one that I think it was a Warcraft Rumble card, where it's a card on either side of it means it deals a random damage to an enemy. And so what you basically do is you're like doing rogue and you're doing like a Shadow Step. I think it's like a Shadow Step pupil coin generator loop. I think maybe they use Greedy Partner, maybe they use Mailbox Dancer. I don't know. I couldn't find it quickly enough.
I think it's Mailbox Dancer. Yeah. It's Mailbox
You're
Dancer.
just infinitely like churning mana. And the funny part is like this is a big time animation cheat deck. It pops up on HS Guru. It definitely has a sample size. It's not played to any large extent on NA, on EU, or on Asia. And the rumor in the community is that all the animation cheaters all agreed that we complain too much on the Western servers and we get the devs' attention. So to stop the deck from getting any notice and get patched out or get fixed or get nerfed, they're just not going to bring it to NA, and they're going to hope that nobody notices and nobody complains and whines. It's not happening here. But it is happening. And what's kind of messed up is that the fact that it's a scripted combo. Like you can like click your button and walk away from your computer, and it'll do the thing for you. Is the way they make it sound. So like it's not a complicated. It's not even like Pillager where you're animation cheating, but you actually have to play out the combo and know the line. It's like it's pretty dumb.
Interesting, because macros have been around in video games like forever. Which, like, where do you draw the line? Like in World of Warcraft, I remember people making fun of me for actually pushing my action buttons back in the day. They're like, bro, we macro that. Like, why are you even... But I think when you're involving animation cheating, that is like majorly crossing the line with the combined with the macros.
Ben from work in chat says interesting thing. He says not enough people are affected for them to care. And the crazy part about this is the China server is the most populated of all the servers. In fact, it has a higher population there than the other 3 servers combined. So in a way, yes. And in a way, no, because like no on sheer numbers, but yes, also because like if they're just, they have much more lenient standards for cheating, or at least it seems like the China server either has a bigger problem and has a tougher time controlling it, or just it's like it's sort of its own Wild West or what have you. But yeah, no, like at the same time, not enough of people who are going to complain enough are being affected, and there's a lot of people that just sort of whatever, it is what it is, and just accept it and move on. So I don't know. This is I saw this story, and yes, it was like, you know, Reddit, and it wasn't concrete enough to be news. So I wasn't looking to push it in there, but like while we were talking about counter queuing, like I found this so weird and fascinating at the same time, because I see this deck pop up, but I never play into it ever. I've never played into it.
KVLT, have you played into this?
I actually have not. No, I think I was expecting to see it at some point, so I guess it makes sense why I haven't seen any of it. Is because if they just played on the Chinese servers, like I don't think I've seen a cheater since like I've seen cheaters on Osmani, but that's kind of whatever because Osmani kills you even without cheating, so I don't really care. But cheating on Dracarogue, I guess, was the last time cheaters were rampant. And then we had the Phoenix Rogue at some point with Umbra Phoenix. That was annoying too. But like I definitely get how it can be annoying. Like the metas where there was a bunch of cheaters was very obnoxious because you died very quickly and it was very obvious that they were cheating. But I think the thing is, like, the cheater decks aren't even that high win rate, so I think the deck is not even that strong, which is kind of interesting. That the deck is probably not as strong as
it's like permanently like 53%. Like it's winning, but it's not crazy.
Yeah,
maybe that's why they think that's the one to do, right? Like if you're cheating on a deck that had like a 65% win rate or something like that, then like it's super targetable by Blizzard. But like we're picking like
people just cheat on Osmani picks.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe you blew my argument.
That's the deck people cheat on mostly. So I don't know, and I don't think that many people care because you can do it without cheating, so it kind of just feels redundant
Can
to
confirm.
cheat on it, right? Like, if you're cheating for no competitive advantage, like, who cares, right? It's just at that point, it's more of an accessibility thing. So, I mean, I guess you can definitely like do better with house money if you're cheating. It definitely helps, but it's not like
So
you
we
can't
went
win
over
without
earlier
cheating.
in the podcast about being high ranked and wild literally means nothing, like competitively and all that stuff. And people are doing this. Why?
I mean, winning's fun. Winning's fun, you know. It's like any game. That's all it really comes
Fair.
down to is I like to win.
But they're not.
So-
They're not winning. Like, they didn't do
And,
anything
I
to
mean-
win, right? Like,
I mean, I think like the Draka, I could see cheating on the Draka. Like, it's frustrating. Like if you play Draka and you can't get to like the kill, like getting to the amount where you can actually kill someone was so difficult. Like where it was pretty much that deck was pretty much gated off. If you weren't cheating with it, you really couldn't play it. So it's kind of like by cheating, you got to unlock another
guess
deck. in
maybe
the
it's
game,
neat to see
basically.
once.
It was tricky
I couldn't see
too,
the
though.
gratification and just like repeating it over and over again. But that's, I guess, not me. I'm sure there are people that enjoy number go up by doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the reason people play, like, I don't know, like the reason like a lot of people play is because, you know, the game is compelling, right? Like just playing the game is fun, and it's better to be higher rank because you get to play against the people who challenge you more often. So it's kind of a fun aspect of it, which I think, you know, going back to the counter queuing thing, I think that's kind of why I don't like it as much, because I hate losing on the mole. Like losing to, you see an opponent and you're like, oh, I'm dead before the game even starts. Like that kind of sucks. So I mean, that's why people don't like cheating either. Like if you queue into a cheat, like Draka Rogue was kind of bad. Like it was bad for sure, but like at this point, we've been having against Nazmani for this long, and I think Nazmani is better than Draka Rogue was with cheats. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure cheating is like the cheating. Like I think I looked at the article and there was like cheating where you could like see
Oh my
opponent's
gosh.
hand and all that.
Map
Like
hack.
there's a bit of an issue. There's a bit of an issue with that being a thing. So there's I don't know if they're going to address it. Like usually they address cheats by nerfing the deck that people are cheating with.
Yeah, the hidden
but
information thing.
I'm not sure
The
how
hidden
they're
information
going
thing has
to-
been out there forever, and you can't like. They're not
Yeah,
not
I
sealing
mean,
that hole up.
I have like there's like an issue with like Hearthstone deck tracker like shows Renathal in your hand, an opponent's hand, and it's been like a thing for like so long now.
Ysera,
And it
Plagues,
shows-
yeah.
This is
The game also like even like the replays. Like if you go into a replay, you can see what your opponent
Yeah.
picked off the Discover. If you go to the replay after the game, so all they're doing is showing the information during the live game rather than revealing it afterwards, which is I don't know if they're going to change. They kind of have to. They have to get rid of deck trackers if they get rid of that. I don't know if that's the thing they're.
That's a
gonna
good
do.
Just
point.
that API
I'm not sure if they're
access, yeah.
going
it's
to
the
address it.
third party thing. So that's what's blown my mind for the longest time. If I want to go back to the StarCraft days, where if you use a third party program to try to cheat in some sort of fashion, because I remember back in the day, I downloaded this thing. It was like, oh, get rid of the fog of war online, and it was this map hack, so you could just see the entire thing if you're gonna like try to do an online match. And I was like, oh my gosh, that'd be cool. So it was like 15-year-old me, right? Like, let's see how this works. I tried to log in. I downloaded the app. I didn't even get to play a single game. I logged into BattleNet and my account instantly just banned my CD key for StarCraft. Done. You have to buy a whole new one. Like, I couldn't even get in the game. It was like they detected it so fast, it was crazy. Because it's this third-party software that Blizzard was aware of, and I felt like an idiot. And so, like, 15-year-old me had to deliver more newspapers to go buy new StarCraft CD with the new CD key just so I could play StarCraft again because I even tried it. So it's wild to me. I guess technology on the, I'm going to call it the hacker side, must be better than it used to be, where people can use third-party apps or whatever they're doing, and Blizzard is not. I know that they've banned people in the past. Remember their mass bannings they were doing? They were like giving these numbers about how many people that they were banning and like all this stuff. But the fact that they can't target the third-party apps, and maybe KVLT, you're right about, or maybe Sheep, you said it, I don't remember, about having to ban the other apps like HS Replay or Firestone. Like maybe you can't even use something like that. Maybe that's the roadblock that they're seeing. I don't know.
Well, the difference between like having like StarCraft and Hearthstone is that StarCraft has an anti-cheat where Hearthstone does not have any anti-cheat. So that's the reason that they don't ban anything. All of the banning is done manually in Hearthstone. So they don't really detect for software because everything is on Hearthstone.
Are we talking StarCraft 1? I don't even know if anti-cheat existed.
Well, in your example where you got banned instantly, it's because the game detected the software that you had, and Hearthstone doesn't have anything like that where they can detect software. Like all of it is done manually because everything is done on their server, which just makes it so, because doing things client side in Hearthstone don't have that big of an advantage. There's only a couple things you can do. You can speed up animations, and you have some information that's apparently that's revealed that the game hides from you. Because most of the time, with Hearthstone, most of the Hearthstone information is done on the server, so nothing is known on your
device,
individual device. It's all done from the servers, so you can't cheat in that way, because that would be actually like hacking the Blizzard servers in itself, which is not really possible, right? Yeah. So
basically what we're saying is they could never detect it based on your definition of it.
But yeah, they basically
I think Blizzard
can never
should
detect
visit
it,
everybody's house and check their gaming device to make sure that they're not doing that.
Because it's so funny to me. Like, I don't, this is the old guy in me. I guess I always refer to StarCraft things because I always thought that it was wild to me that Hearthstone doesn't have replays. Like, that blew my mind. Like, in StarCraft, you could go back and you could watch your replay. Like, you could just hit save. Like, when you're done a match, you just hit save replay. And, like, it's an online match. You could watch it and everything. Maybe that's also similar to what you're talking about. First, like, server side versus not, or whatever, because like the technology is there, but it's not.
Well, everything on Hearthstone is done server side, right? There's nothing really client side. There's very few stuff that's done client side on Hearthstone, and the only thing that can be hacked is stuff that's done client side. So the way they try to, the anti-cheat in Hearthstone is trying to make it so they can't really have access to that many things to cheat on. So the one thing that's handled client side is animations, which is why that's extremely easy cheat to have. And then also, I think they just might have a leak. I'm not sure how they can fix the, I don't know enough about it to know how they can get rid of the deck tracker having access to information that the player shouldn't have access to at that point in the game. Because there's no reason why my deck tracker should show the Renethal in my opponent's hand, or show the snake oil, because as soon as you can always track that snake oil. If you have deck tracker up, the snake oil is always made public information.
It's like it's anything that was external that was added, when they get it in their hand. Like if you spin leaf plagues into your hand. then you can tell from
And,
or your opponent
like,
does, then they can tell.
And like Firestone, yeah, and Firestone and Hearthstone Deck Tracker hide that information manually. They just like they have all that information. They just hide it. The fixing that glitch has been all like the third party responsibility to do it, which is kind of funny.
I think you gave pretty good explanations.
Unrelated Advice with special guest of the week.
KVLT.
Yep.
Now, usually whoever I'm asking advice for, I say their name and then they say my name in a nervous way, and then I go into my question. But you know what? We're gonna avoid that process now. Here's I have a special unrelated advice question for you. I wanted to really turn the screws and be like, okay, I know KVLT is studying law. I know that he doesn't mind studying the defendant side of the bar. So I'm like, okay, what can I make KVLT defend? And I started with Hearthstone language card, like the language written on the cards, and how they're written and the clarity therein. And I thought, you know what, that's too hard. He might even state mandated. He might just quit if he had to do that. So I'm picking a card instead that I want you to defend. I want you. You've been retained to be Ysaele's lawyer. What arguments are you making to save your client from getting a nerf and/or ban?
Oh, okay.
You got to come up with arguments to save Ysaele from destruction.
They're trying to nerf my card.
Excellent.
Do you think of how much? Well, firstly, it's a fun card. You can't deny it's a fun card, and it's
Objection.
kind of what the only thing Druid's got for combo left, right? What other combos do they even have in Wild? It's and Ysaele's Sleep is nutty synergy, and that's fun. Come on, all your cards cost 1 mana. That's fun. That's they printed multiple things. They printed Celestial Alignment to make your cards cost 1 again. And I think it's a thing that I think Druid should be allowed to do. The Druid Classic is ramping to 10 mana and then winning the game. It's in Druid's Mouth says that the reason I like the card is the reason that should be banned.
Wiser words have never been spoken. And you heard that on.
More to be
I think that's a little bit of bias.
wild.
That's a great way to end that segment.
But I mean, from a balance, from a balance perspective, though, it's not any stronger than anything else we're doing in Wild. I think
Yeah.
it's at a place where it's not overly dominating the meta. Also, not that many people play the deck. The deck is consistently at a fairly low win rate and very low play rate.
Is this still part of your defense argument? Yeah.
It's part of my defense.
No one told him to show
it's part of
it,
my defense
so.
argument. Yeah.
We can do that again. Wiser words.
No, that's a
have
perfect.
never been
That's a
spoken.
perfect. That's a perfect.
That's a perfect post. And
Wild.
Unlucky.
Cut off.
You
off
can
in my
blame
closing
Get
argument.
Meowth for that, I guess.